Hey guys, it's Moonlander back with another horror movie review. And today we're going to be looking at a 2006 movie called Them.
The movie that terrified Europe is coming to America.
Now, I watched this with Amazon Prime. It's available in their horror section. And it's a French movie that takes place in Romania. And this movie is also based on real events. The true story was about an Austrian couple that had a vacation home in Romania, and they were killed by teenagers. So in the movie, it's about a French couple that lives in a house in a secluded and wooded area of Romania. So the movie introduces this couple, and they're a young, loving couple. So anyway, the husband's a writer and the wife is a teacher. And the movie just shows them on this one day of their life where it's a normal day. The husband's at home supposedly writing, yet he's playing pinball on his computer. And the wife gets home from her teaching job and, they make dinner and just have a normal night. And now the husband goes to bed and the wife stays up to get some work done, and the phone rings, and it seems abnormal to her, and she answers it, and all it is a garbled noise of somebody talking. So anyway, after that, she decides to go to bed, and around 3 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up to a noise. And she wakes the husband up, and they go to investigate, and they look out the front and they see that her car's moved, and they go out to investigate, and the husband walks up to the car and there's somebody in it, and they turn the lights on and reverse down the driveway out of sight. So they go back in the house and try calling the police, but for some reason they're not concerned with their car being stolen at 3 in the morning because she has whatever papers that are relevant are in the car. So after this, things start picking up and they realize that somebody is terrorizing them, and it's not just one person. There's multiple people that are outside their windows, and they know they're in trouble, and now the phone doesn't work. So for the things I liked about this movie is I have always been a fan of these home invasion types of movie. I don't know exactly why, but I just find them to be a little more scary than most movies that are supposed to be scary, because I guess you just could imagine that really happening. And for me, the best part of the home invasion movies are the first half. And this movie does a good job of just getting you to briefly let you know this couple and, see they're good people, just normal people. And so you kind of sympathize with them in some way. And then the tension slowly builds to the point where, yes, there is something really wrong and we better do something about it. And this movie does a good job with that. And another thing I liked about this movie is they have at least one of these kids that's terrorizing them have a noisemaker. And they use it very sparingly, but when they do use it's a little scary. And I could just imagine having to listening to that when you think there's somebody trying to kill you, and they're willing to let you know they're there. Okay, so the things I didn't like about this movie, and I saw this in some of the user reviews on IMDb, is I wanted to see why people didn't like this movie. And it looked like a lot of people didn't like this just for the fact that it was kids doing it. And I kept thinking to myself too, once I realized it was kids, I kept thinking about John Travolta in Pulp Fiction when he's talking about how somebody keyed his car and how it would almost be worth them doing it if he had caught them doing it. And I couldn't help but feel the same way. Like, if I knew there was some kids like out there terrorizing, and I thought they were threatening me or my wife, like, it'd almost be worth it. But anyway, when I started this movie and while I was watching it, I didn't know it was kids till the end of the movie when it says so and shows you. But so I would think that this couple in this movie, I'm sure they didn't really know what they were dealing with. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't even have thought that it was kids. They just look at people in like hoods, they don't know what's going on and they're scared shitless. So yeah, I can't imagine, that happening. And I mean, I guess it did really happen. So yeah, I don't really think that's a reason to dislike this movie, but I mean, I understand where they're coming from in a way. So my final thoughts on this movie is it's not the best home invasion movie, but it is a good one. And as a fan of home invasion, I'm glad I watched it. And if you're a fan of it, yeah, you should watch this if you haven't seen it. It is subtitled, but it's worth it. And I mean, it's good enough that I'd suggest it pretty much to any horror fan, really. But I definitely wouldn't call it a must-see. So I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. And that ought to do it. I'll see you guys on the next review.